Another week. We are still here.
Still here.
I was wondering how long before we get canceled.
I mean, do you want me to tell you how many episodes?
No.
I mean, you have it right in front of you.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
That's that many.
It's been 26 times we've ear-fucked people.
Mm-hmm. It's been a half a year, dude.
Why are you guys still watching this crap?
They really like us.
Why?
I think it's a combination of we say shit and we say shit.
I think it has more to do with La Pilota than us.
Really?
I think they just want to see her.
She didn't show up to work today.
She didn't?
No. It's unfortunate. But yeah, how you been?
Good, man.
Good. This weekend was jam-packed with shit for us to talk about.
A lot of shit. We were supposed to have Ben on today, but apparently he's coming next week.
Yeah, Ben Fumo's Boutique is going to come next week. He wanted to come a little later in the day because he's at the end of the fucking world. You know, he's like right next to Cuba.
I've always wondered why he works all the way down there.
Well, he's one of those Kendall people.
What does that mean?
Kendall people?
Yeah,
Kendall people never leave Kendall.
Oh, okay.
Ever.
Kendall a person or location?
Kendall's a location.
Okay, location.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Kendall does work.
Kendall is a person. I used to know a snow bunny named Kendall.
Oh, that's where I was going.
Anyways, things didn't work out. You guys hear this music?
Strange.
What is that?
Oh, okay.
So she did show up to work.
Oh, hi. I mean, better late than never, right?
At some point. Anyways, so pretty chaotic fucking week.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened.
Or is happening.
It's happening and blew up my eyebrows clean off like 4 or 5 times during the week, which is crazy.
It's crazy, man. Like the world is getting very chaotic.
Chaos is the word. Chaos.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about this a lot because I watched the Bill Maher segment where he's talking about the midterms coming up.
Your party is going to get the dog shit kicked out of you in the midterms. No, come on. Because this is not what people voted for, and they're going to hold the party as responsible as they should.
And wiping like the red wave off of just about every state, whatever. And we keep having this thing in this country that keeps going to like blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. So when the blue guys are in office, they don't do shit they're supposed to do, and then they keep focusing on this gay shit. And I'm serious, man. This transgender shit and stuff that like the stuff that applies to like less than 0.01% of fucking no one gives a shit about population. You want to be gay, but just be gay. Like we don't need to change the law around it. Like it's fine. Like just be gay. Like what the fuck? Like I don't understand. There's so many people who are.
Mark does it every day.
Yeah, I mean, what? Well, poor Mark. Like I just feel like it's an abuse on a guy that just moved here from Honduras. So
Ecuador.
Ecuador. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, he's not from where? Oh yeah, Spain. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. It goes through this every single week.
España.
Anyways, so yeah, I just feel like this constant like no matter like if the red guys are in office, they just keep fucking with abortion rights and all this other shit like women's rights, black rights, whatever. And it's just this ping pong going on back and forth, and it got me to thinking about like. Because it was recently that I went up to see Andy Frisella, who's very opinionated about, what he thinks about what's going on, et cetera. And there is a reality that something that I just think is like just important to talk about. And it's that the country has become very chaotic and a lot of these things that are being dismantled now, institutions showing their weak spots, their lack of independence and oversight, politicians showing their lack of independence and capacity to do their job, instead focus on just like what the narrative is and the bullshit.
Monetization.
Yeah, and it's just like nonstop, right? Like it's almost like every single thing. I said once on the show, I said, why are we surprised that people will take the money over doing the right thing, right? Just how this country was built on just capitalism and capitalism alone. But the larger, I think, we're seeing these gaps, and we're seeing these international like things like the UN fall apart, NATO not being real, like all these like World Health Organization bullshit and everything else falling apart. And we know that all these things are basically like not necessarily working. They weren't working for a while. And there's no doubt that many of these things could probably, use a revamp or a change.
We can agree.
We can agree that a lot of these things are broken and they're not functioning. We can agree that every country in the world has an immigration issue. We can agree that people who are, doing illegal things in countries and aren't careful
It's not hyper specific to us.
Yeah, no, it's everywhere in every country, right? If you're a guest in someone's house, you
Correct.
should behave within their rules. If you come into a country that has a different religion or structural belief system or work, you're not there to impose your own shit.
Correct.
You're there to basically just work and figure out how to like function in a new society, a new way of being based on the fact that you escaped the old way. That didn't fucking work, obviously. That's why you're not there. And I think too long have people allowed this shit to kind of like go on where they didn't do anything. But I think it brings me to the main point I wanted to talk about, which was how much I'm realizing that more and more of populations have an expectation to be saved by their political leaders. Like who's going to come and save us? Who's going to come and correct these? And many of the issues that they're dealing with, that people on a day-to-day deal with, aren't even related to federal. They're related to state. And they could get involved in their state. They could run for state office. They could, work or participate in their communities. They could be part of school districts and school boards and be involved in their HOA if they don't like it. These are all like basics. And if you actually look at the way the structure of society is set up, you have so many possibilities to participate in smaller scale things to learn. Like maybe you don't like the way your community does something, you get involved in the HOA, it's annoying, but from there you move into like something about your school district for your kids, and then later you move into something around the city, where you can have a voice, or
the path to
city council, or the path to involvement and participation. But people just aren't interested. They're just looking for this kind of savior idea. And it doesn't matter which side of the fucking aisle you're on. I don't give a shit if you're into red things or blue things. They don't make a difference. Bottom line is, you're a fucking human. And as a human, you should focus primarily on the fact that you keep electing people to come save your ass. And when they don't save your ass, you keep trying to elect the opposition to come save your ass, and they don't save your ass. And by now, you should start realizing that politicians are only as good as the people that are electing them. Meaning, if the people are fucking retarded, then the politicians are fucking retarded.
Case in point.
It's really simple. Like, it's really not a complicated matter. Like, democracy only works if people continuously improve their participation and their desire to have a democracy.
Democracy requires participation.
Right. And I feel like in this country, we've made everyone the enemy. It's like, if you don't believe something I believe, then we have to have a debate until what I believe is either in your head and you believe it, or what you believe is in my head. But if not, then there's going to be no further conversation, because we can't coexist on everything else we agree on, even though we disagree about this one thing.
Correct.
And what that led me to is that, we launched this Andy Frisella car collection tour, like on YouTube. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. But in this video, we share like just car stuff. Like, we're just both car guys, so we talk about cars he has. And I think very few people in the world have had an inside look at his collection. I was there. I said, why not do a quick YouTube video on some of the cars that are impactful? Because he has some really cool shit. He's always wanted to kind of do car stuff, but he kind of puts it off to the side. So I kind of forced his hand through it. But something that, a lot of people comment on the political spectrum, and they're like, oh, he's a election denier, or so he doesn't believe in this or that. And it's a fucking car video. Like, I understand. Like, I really get it. Like, I understand that. Let's put it this way. We can be on both sides of the coin. Me and Andy do not agree on politics. We do not agree. We do not agree on how things are being handled. We do not agree on any of these aspects. I mean, there are certain things where we agree that there are issues in the world, and we may not have a similar view of how things should get resolved, and should they be forced to be resolved? Should they happen slowly or not? But there's something we genuinely agree on, and it doesn't have to do with cars. It has to do with personal fucking excellence. And I think that's something that people aren't talking about enough. The longer people wait around for governments to come save them, the more dependent they are on government, and the more disappointed they get in government not doing what they want to. Government has never been there to help you succeed. Government is there to force a civilization to comply and to survive. So if compliance and survival is not what you want, then you don't really have a choice but to fucking excel at everything else, so that you can set your own rules live on your terms. And there's no other way to do that. Like the biggest, most powerful protest you can have is by actually becoming the best fucking version of yourself and making a fucking difference in your day-to-day life, your neighbor's life, your capacity, and your ability to participate and engage in more than just a conversation from the street yelling at people. And I think that this is, no one is saying that you don't have the right to protest, but I think this country is focused so much on the one thing we fucking disagree with instead of the hundreds of things we agree with. And it's the same thing in politics. It's the same thing. Like they keep fucking giving us these choices like, do you want safe borders? Do you want like abortion rights? Like one way or another, right? And then whenever they're in office, they never fix these fucking things, right? And they fuck them up worse on purpose so that they have something to run on next time. They have like
a problem.
The fear, is like still there and you're going to never get this. So what the fuck are you going to do, But this is something that I just don't understand why people don't wake up to this shit and realize that they're being played by both sides all the fucking time. Like that's why even fucking Elon gave up and he just fucking walked away. And he was like, you can't fix this shit because they're both fucking feeding off the bullshit. So
they
he's
don't want
like,
it to be fixed.
Because he was like, if you take some money off the table, even though it's little money for one guy and it's a lot of money for another guy, well, it fucking destroys both. So the guy that's getting the little's like, I'd rather get little than nothing. So it's just this never-ending thing. But when you see these things happen, you start to realize that we have the wrong fucking people there. Mm-hmm. And we have the wrong fucking people there because the people electing them are dumb enough to fall for the marketing that they're presented with every fucking election cycle.
That's a good way to put it.
And they just they can't dissect fucking marketing. But look at the generation of fucking kids we're raising.
Yeah.
They can't dissect on the internet who's a fucking cartoon from who's a real person because some fucking jerk off without a shirt is posting I got a Bugatti at 21. Like what the fuck kind of stupid shit?
Selling them a dream.
Well, but if you fall for this shit now, what do you think you're falling for when you're 30 fucking years old at the poll? Like hopefully this guy can solve my life like this other guy with his car was going to give me the path to fortunes. Motherfucker, look in a mirror. Like look in a mirror, face the fucking mirror, and just ask yourself, what the fuck do you need someone to guide you to fucking excellence? Just wake the fuck up and be excellent. What does that mean? You don't know how to do something? Then fucking figure it out. You put an effort in anything you do. If you're at work, you don't like your job, do a good fucking job even if you hate your job. A job doesn't have to be fun all the time. And if you don't really like your job, doing a great job will allow you to go to another fucking better job and get higher pay instead of worse fucking pay because you're fired. Like, it's really simple. And if you only have a job and you're not smart enough to build a company, it's okay. 10 fucking years later, at least you'll have made some money. You can start fucking building a company then. But there's no part of this path where being mediocre or being uninformed or thinking you're going to be fed the answer, the results, or you can just step back while someone else does your fucking dirty work somehow is going to resolve your personal neglect of excellence and instead just give you the answers to like, wow, now my life just got better because this guy's in office or that guy voted for this or this did that. Like, it's just fucking pathetic that we live in a country where you have so much access to information, so much access to capacity and possibility, and yet people are still fucking holding their dicks and like just doing fucking nothing and just falling for the marketing that we're fed by fucking politicians every fucking day on both sides of the fucking aisle for no reason. Like, I find that just fucking annoying. It's the same cycles over and over. Mm-hmm. Like, what was the last time? It was a fucking black guy.
It was Obama for 8 years.
And it was the black guy with the fucking knee on his neck.
George.
It was that guy. Now it's the fucking, the innocent people getting shot up for no fucking reason in Minnesota. Like, it's just unfucking necessary. Like, it's just, I don't understand. Like, why can't we have just normal fucking people that aren't in a like, that live in this fucking bubble? Like, most of us agree on 99% of how we live. Like, we want to be left alone. We want less fucking taxes. Every fucking human wants that. I don't give a fuck you're a billionaire or you're fucking broke. You don't want to pay as much taxes. You want to be given the ability to choose your own fucking life, regardless that it's carrying a fucking gun or getting an abortion. So it doesn't matter what side of the fucking coin you're in.
Do whatever you want.
just don't want someone to fucking tell you what to do with your life every fucking day. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that, and all that shit. So you want fairness. You want equality. So when something happens to you or that it happens to someone else, they're held to the same fucking standard.
Yeah.
That's called a law. It's not interpretation law. It's a fucking law. Like, we want normal shit we can understand. I think everybody fucking wants to do that. We want bills that don't have 600 fucking pages of bullshit into them and funding for fucking shit in other countries that we don't really give a shit about, where someone's benefiting 90% and 10% are going to the people. And we want government that works for us and that actually holds our moral code and values even when they disagree. That's the key. And the moral code and value is the big loss that people don't realize. Like, do we agree that we have maybe an immigration problem right now?
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. Every fucking country has one. That doesn't mean we don't have to resolve it, but it also doesn't mean we have to fucking take people out of their houses with guns and shit and just start fucking putting military on there. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just unnecessary. The showmanship just isn't fucking
performative.
there.
Yeah.
It's just not necessary. Like, you know, the part that I don't understand is, like, every fucking time we've had a president that could have been a change magnet, that could have really owned this shit and gone to the next level, has somehow used that to either fucking do nothing or has done all the right things in the wrong ways to fuck it up. Basically, instead of like, oh, I'm handling all the shit you guys want, I'm just doing it in a fucking really bizarre, fucked up way. So, like, this is really fucking getting out of hand with people. But I think that if people can take one fucking back from this fucking point, at the very least, if you can agree with 90% of how a human being interacts, which is that you have basic rights, you want safety, you want the ability to walk outside of your house without getting mugged, shot, or some fucking stupid shit going on. You want the right to defend yourself. You want the right to choose what happens to your body. Most people are in the middle, right? You want to be gay. You have the right to be gay without someone putting a gun to your head or telling you got to go to therapy for that. It's your choice what you do. But we all agree that we also don't want fucking schools telling us or our kids how they should be and shit because they believe something. But I think this is a reflection of who we are. Our schools are an extension of who we are. So if we as people, as parents, as friends, are trying to shove our fucking opinions down each other's throats and our fucking belief systems on each other, if we're saying, I'm this and you should be that, then how do we expect other fucking parents not to do that to our fucking kids? Mm-hmm. Like that, this is the norm we've created in this fucking country, which is to argue until the other person either fucking agrees and gives up and basically goes, I don't agree, but I just want to agree so you go fucking away. Or just disagrees to the point where they're like, I can't fucking talk to you because you're this or that, or you're this color, or you did this, or you did that, or you believe this, or you got a penis, or you have a vagina. Who gives a fuck? Like, look, at the end of the day, here's the reality. We have to exist on the same fucking playing field to have the same human experience as possible.
Yeah.
Yet clearly the fucking system doesn't fucking work for everyone the same way. We know that. This isn't fucking news. It hasn't been news for 30 fucking years, 100 years, whatever you want it. If you gave everybody the same amount of fucking money, they'd still end up rich ones and the poor ones still end up broke. Bottom line is, this is something you can learn. It's not something that you're just given. Just giving you more money won't make you rich. No. But the skill to manage the money, the skill to grow the money, the skill to have a skill in itself to sell to people or some relevance, it's fucking there and it's free. Like all the Harvard classes are free, yet people are saying tuition costs are fucking expensive. Yes, Harvard won't hand you a fucking degree, but you don't need a degree anymore. So it doesn't fucking matter. That's an example of like, why do you give a fuck what Harvard charges?
Unless you're a lawyer.
Or that a rich kid is going to fucking Harvard. Don't worry about that. You have access to the same level of education, absolutely fucking free, can take all the courses free without spending a single dollar, going in debt $1, and then can go and utilize that shit, get a better job if that's what you really want to do.
Correct.
You got 5,000 fucking people teaching free shit on the internet, and you're still not fucking it. So somehow, at some point, you're going to have to realize it ain't your teacher, it ain't your dad, your mom, your politician, your congressman, your governor, your fucking attorney. No one's coming to save you except you. So every fucking time you have a problem with something going on in the world, look at the pattern that's going on and realize that it's not the first time and it ain't going to be the last time, but it ain't going to change as long as you don't fucking change. So one thing me and Andy have always agreed on, no matter what, and that's one of the reasons I think he's so fond of my book, Third Circle Theory, is because it's about personal evolution beyond anything else. So every human, you have to be put on notice with yourself. Look in a mirror and just remember that everything fucking going on in the world is a reflection of how little of a shit you gave when you had a chance to give a shit. So start giving a shit. Start participating, not just protesting, participating. Start by becoming better and then start to participate to make the system better. That's how we fucking win. Anyways, that was my ear fuck of the day.
Yeah, that was a lot of looking into the camera.
Anyways,
Liked it.
even La Pilota, I think, liked it. She was like,
She was like,
I think she's going to use this speech for Fox Crew. I think in the jungle, they're going to have a...
Fox.
Yeah. Did you like that?
I like that. The Fox.
I was going to post something on social media. I was going to say, be careful of ice out there because we're having the snowstorms. Then I was like, too early. No, just not.
Wait, hold on. You said too early? You of all people? Come on.
I'm just saying, it's just, the too many, like no matter where you are. I think Florida is the only place where...
Not participating?
In anything, like nothing at any given point.
I'll put it on the screen so people can see it. It's a picture of the country, and it's like everyone is in negative temperatures.
Yeah.
Florida's 79.
Like, and it's like, we're killing it here. It's like good time.
We're having people on the beach.
It's a good time. Anyways, yeah. So I heard Baller Busters went down again.
Again.
I'm guaranteeing this has to do with the other two monkeys.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Like, well, funny enough, they've been quiet for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. Like little tidbits here and there, but nothing out of the ordinary. The only one that's been posting a lot is Alex. And then you see Baller Busters, and I was like, oh, you guys have been busy. You guys just been busy with that shit.
Yeah.
Just sending DMCAs to Baller Busters. But we know they're going to come back.
Yeah, but I don't understand why they just don't. This is they should fucking listen to my speech and maybe fucking go.
I'm going to clip it and send it to them.
Excellence.
I'll email it to them.
Just be like, be better. Like maybe the world will get better instead of worrying about who's exposing your ass.
But again, it comes down to like what we always say about effort. Like you took all this effort to just send DMCAs or whatever the fuck to this one.
You could have made that effort towards something productive that could have actually been
benefited your life, and people are not talking about you at 10:30 on a Monday.
Exactly. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
Moving on we got some good business stuff, and this one's really big because this is a huge part of those kids that you keep talking about. TikTok secured a deal to be owned by an American company. So,
I think it's Oracle, right?
It's a combination of people.
Yeah.
It's a group of people that bought it. Oracle, the Dell family is one of them. And this has been going on for what?
But I saw there's a new, there's not just an agreement, there's a new agreed terms. It's been floating all over the internet that they have the way to surveil you, send your information all over, like your geography, your location, everything to authorities. It's like, what the fuck?
People were freaking out a little too much because if you think they haven't been able to do that since the beginning of time, you're wrong. That was always the problem with TikTok because it's Chinese based and they surveil because that's what they do over there.
Well, but you see, that's the fucking problem. You see, this is a really good example of what I was just fucking talking about. It wasn't a problem when the Chinese were spying on us. No. It's a problem when the Americans were spying on Americans. Yes.
Spying on each other.
Why is that a problem? Because people have lost trust in fucking institutions. Imagine how, you have to understand how bad this is. That we don't believe that an actual fucking foreign enemy to the United States is an actual fucking enemy. And that the United States itself is a worse enemy to itself. I'm just telling you, you have to understand how bad that looks.
It's terrible, but people don't see it.
To us as the people, because of how much people have lost faith in those individuals, in those companies, in those institutions, because they don't believe in fairness. So they believe that they're going to be internally targeted.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm saying is, imagine how bad it is that you're okay if your enemy targets you. And you're like, oh, these people might take advantage of me. Fuck it. I don't really care. They're in China. But now I have a problem because they're here.
But it goes into the same thing about we just talked about politics. It's like the people play the same thing. Oh, now it's a problem because it's on me now. It's affecting me. So now I want to have a voice about it. But what about a year ago when it was affecting
a lot of people dumped their TikTok accounts.
Yeah, because
a lot of people are just realizing that the shit was dead when
they already got the information they wanted. They've had it. We're gonna see how it plays out. The other companies that are involved are Silver Lake. It's Oracle, Silver Lake, Dell Family, and the Vastmere Strategic Investment. So it's a bunch of hedge funds people and people with money. They're clearly never going to do anything in your best interest. They're only going to do things in the interest of money, profit.
Yeah.
So, that's a thing. That affects a different age demographic than it affects us because you and I are not TikTok people.
I'm not on fucking TikTok.
I have it, but I don't.
I don't think I've ever done a TikTok.
I don't
know how to use it. Yeah.
Well, you also have a hard time putting CarPlay in the car. So,
I know how to do. I don't have CarPlay. I have Android Auto. Half the cars don't have it, so that's how I get away with it. You just place Bluetooth.
I don't have to do this.
I actually like Bluetooth. It lets me put. I'm still the guy that has Android Auto and still uses his phone to change the song. You don't know how dumb I am.
It's on the screen.
It's like, no, let me look for my song. It's like, no, it's right there. You can just pull the list up. It's like, nope, I'm just gonna go on my phone.
All right,
so unfortunately,
moving on. Watches.
Oh, wow. People are making money with watches?
What are the odds?
I don't know.
Who would have thought?
I've only been saying this for 15 years.
Who would have thought this guy on the internet a couple of years ago said
a couple of years ago, 2 decades ago, yeah. And on top of that, what was funny is during COVID, people are like, oh, yeah, he got lucky because of the people just didn't have nothing to spend money on.
That's a good impression.
Watches. Yeah, I'm just sitting at home holding my dick, but I seem to understand economics now. So, yeah.
Revonomics.
Yeah, this guy, though, however, fuck that guy. I don't like him. Wasn't that the car guy? He was talking about cars going up, and now he's talking about watches? I don't get it. I don't know how one person can do more than one thing in life. I don't know.
Yo, your impressions, you must practice them because they're getting so good.
That's like half of my YouTube comments have to, I thought I saw this guy talking about cars. And then there's still the gay guy that's fucking talking about me on Netflix's fastest car. Didn't you lose to a Honda Civic? Oh, yeah, an illegal Honda Civic that was running a 6-second quarter. Do you understand how physics fucking works?
Yeah,
that's like a 6-second fucking car. It's a 6-second fucking car. Doesn't mean how much horsepower it has is going to defy fucking science, you fucking morons. And what's even worse, they're like, well, what does that mean to you that you're just losing? I'm like,
nothing.
Yes, I'm losing when I went back home to my millions of dollars, my amazing family, house and everything, while they're still looking for the next meal and everybody on that show is not broke. So I was like, definitely meant that I was the losing proposition.
You lost so bad, dude.
Everything.
I've never seen a bigger loser.
What was actually really funny is we made 600, I think it was the first 3 weeks, made 600K in course sales from that while the show was airing.
That was a fun show.
No, and I thought to myself, I was like, well, that was the combined salary of every fucking idiot that showed up that day for next 3 years in an hour. From them.
From then on.
Yeah, from whatever that fucking show is. It's just...
Anyway, but Gen Zers are making money off of watches now.
Thanks to us at Watch Trading Academy.
And it's one of those things, like you said, you're consistent on the internet and it goes back to what we were just saying. Do something that can make you better and further progress yourself. They're catching on because you've been saying it only took 20 years for people to listen.
You got to plant trees if you want a forest eventually. You can't buy a forest unless you have a lot of money.
How much would it cost to buy a forest?
I don't know, but it's usually not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, my landscaping in my house was $200,000. So
Jesus Christ.
So that was on the small side. I got kind of cheap in the back. I was I don't need a $72,000 tree. I'm looking at
$72,000 tree, PJ?
Yeah, my last house, I had a fucking $72,000 tree.
Did you take it when you moved?
No. It would have taken more money to move it. It was really big. It's
I would have been
it down.
Take that tree to my new house.
Either that or maybe that's,
So the biggest thing here, obviously, is flippers market. And it's not just watches. It's assets in general. Mm-hmm. You've been right on assets.
Alternative assets.
Assets. So it's,
bags, yeah.
So where do you, obviously it's going to continue. Uh-huh. And we were just talking about that the dollar may go in a completely different direction. Where do you think those two, where do they meet and then where do they separate?
So I have a theory that all the data is starting to point that we are closer than we can think to some type of alternative currency that's digitized instead of cash, instead of the dollar. And I think every country's in on it. I think they make it sound like it might be a US thing, but it's not. I think every single country's in on it. Mm-hmm. I think it's coming faster than people expect. And I think one of the things we know from historical data, which past track record is not always indicative of future results in today's markets, but more so than anything else, when we look at certain patterns and we analyze them, we can see that ultra wealth takes positions ahead of market shifts.
Hold on. Can you elaborate what ultra wealth is?
Meaning people with access to information ahead of its occurrence take positions. So think about if you're in Congress and you know that you're about to cut off funding to maybe like a drug, and you're like, this competitor will suddenly surge. So you buy 10 million stocks of a competitor, so it surges. So that's what I mean by like when you have access to information and you're incredibly wealthy, you take a position before the news goes in effect. So you could even take a position 6 months ahead if you're Congress. So you don't want anyone to doubt that you might have, had something to do with it.
Insider trading and shit, yeah.
So the larger, I think, problem here that people aren't paying attention to is that there's a lot of people taking very, very high positions in cars, watches, art, including family offices and institutions that are actually buying up portfolios of very rare cars. Now, this is not necessarily problematic. It's just kind of something to pay attention to. And it's been going on for the last 2 years, but it's increasing at excessively high rates. And we're seeing it in a way that we haven't seen it before. And I think that that's not the sole indicator, but one thing to really pay attention to, because I mean, there's some of these cars are going up over $1 million a month.
We were just talking a month?
A month.
Damn, you railroaded me there.
Meaning like a car you bought a month ago for $2 million is now $3 million. A car you bought 3 months ago for...
What's a good example of that?
Courier GT, 918s, Enzo, like all these cars have had their huge uprising, in a
Beacon
way.
Was nuts.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate money either. Like, it doesn't really make sense. Auction pricing, that doesn't always add up. And, they had this scandal years ago where Patek used to go to auction houses in Switzerland and buy their own watches for record numbers, and then all the jewelers would rise the numbers.
Pump it.
Which people would be like, I don't understand. Why would Patek buy their own fucking watch for $300K? You can go on the internet and buy one for $200 if you really want one. Plus, you're the manufacturers who fucking make one. Like, what's the problem?
Make another one.
And then you started realizing that, well, it makes sense because it's the way they're getting marketing today. Look at how many people have shared the 918 for $6 million. Look at how many people have shared it's better marketing than anything else. If you want to help people invest in the next hypercar you have coming out, if you're Porsche, what better example to set than show all of your past hypercars going to the roof, and giving people more confidence to go bid $7 to $8 million on your new price increased car.
Because the last one cost me...
Exactly. See, the last one was like, this is the thing people don't understand. Like, they have to find a way to justify why the cost of a good is now $4 million when that same good was $800K back in 2015. So you have to understand that doesn't just come with like ease to tell people that, But there's something else I want to note, which we're going to talk about in a second when we go to the car stuff. Pull up the Bugatti, the Veyron $20 million car. This is going to go straight into the same asset. So this thing is $20 million. It's basically a Veyron with a Chiron frame, like a Resto mods, kind of like a
manufacturer Resto.
Yeah, like a variation of like the Veyron and Chiron had a baby, and they came up with a really good looking child. It would be this. The thing with this, the part that people are missing in this has nothing to do with the car, and what they need to be paying attention to is the money on this. About 15 years or so ago, like people started pulling out $3 million cars out of their asshole. Meaning they started saying like they would be $3 million cars on the market. There were $3 million one-off cars. They were crazy.
It became a thing.
Yeah, it became a thing that there would be $1 million cars, and people are like, "What the fuck? You guys are crazy. Who's spending that kind of money?"
Back then, it was just the McLaren F1.
Right, and now it's become the norm. Right. So you have to understand something. To go from the $3 million hypercar norm to $20 million. That's a lot.
Big jump.
Yeah, that's a 6x jump.
Different
right?
kinds of money.
6 to 7x jump. There's only two ways you get there. And either you get a significant population increase in wealth, like you get people getting way richer, and like basically people like me being able to buy 10, $20 million cars instead of 10, $3 million cars. which I don't really see this happening in the next 5 years, right? Or you count on the fact that $20 million today is going to be the equivalent of maybe something along the lines of $7 to $8 million as of today's currency, but converted then later to new types of currencies.
It would be
in value, in essence, would basically be similar to a 20. So you're getting people familiar and comfortable with that dollar range, almost the same way that you were getting people comfortable with real estate dollar ranges by having certain states sell condos for fucking $30 million, while other states were, $1,500 a month on a condo. There are ways that are easy to set kind of the directional path of where assets are going, and then to kind of come back and be like, this is the future. You just didn't pay attention to it 10, 15 years ago. And what was the car that I was sweating that I loved so much? The Gordon Murray, remember?
The
sick ass F1, like
F1,
that new Restomont version. How much was that? $20 million.
$20 million.
How much was the Solitaire before this? $20 million.
$20 million.
How much was this car? $20 million.
How much is the Tourbillon?
That's a $5 million car. That's a base car. But I'm saying these hypercar norms are going to start becoming $10, $20 million. And what I'm saying is they're not going to become $10, $20 million today. You'll see in 5 to 10 years, this will be the new, like, fuck you, I have money. That's where it's at. So I'm just telling you, like, it's coming faster than people think. And the other thing that I think people aren't talking about enough, there was a post that I put up of Elon Musk when he said, you have 4 years to get rich or you're going to be completely fucked. I had a discussion with someone about this that said, well, that's unfair to say because what about people that are born now? Obviously they're not able to participate in the economy. But economies have cycles, meaning people that are born now aren't going to be in the same economic cycle by the time they're contributing members. It could be like 20, 30 years later, by the time they're actually having to make something of themselves. So different cycle. They're born into an AI revolution, versus we have to adapt to one, right? Like they're born into the internet versus we have to discover it, So it's a little bit different, but I just wanted to kind of point that out because I thought that was something that people are not paying attention to. And I want to get to the cars because we want to do that. But I also want to address that you just put it back. This clip was going viral between Homozi and... Homozi and...
I got you.
What's his name?
Alex Homozi and Tony Robbins.
Everybody should watch this clip, and I think everyone should pay attention to, I think, two very important things that Tony Robbins says, not just in this clip, but over the last year, there's been a common theme in all of Tony Robbins's specific... In all of Tony Robbins' specific, it's actually funny. It's in this clip, except this is an ad, I think. But
it's his own ad on his own shit.
But I'm saying this. It was from this clip, which he did with these two fucking assholes, which are fucking poor and retarded. But this guy is one of the smartest guys on the planet, and something that he says in every one of his interviews recently has been about pattern recognition, utilization, and creation. And it's the fucking most honest and truthful thing you can talk about human evolution because it falls right into my third circle theory too. It just matters a lot and it's something people aren't paying attention to enough. People should really understand that concept more than anything. And I think something else about this interview, because all the poor people that watch this who follow Homozi were slamming him for he went here for something, he didn't get it. Other poor people were saying Tony was telling him to find God. I don't think that was mentioned either. It's just always a poverty thing to refer back to God as the answer to everything. But I think something that was so important in this that most people who don't have business acumen or an understanding are going to miss. What this discussion was here, which I've criticized Homozi from the beginning, even though I love his content, I think it's very relevant, especially to a younger audience that's growing up in business. He's a lot of good strategy, a lot of good says, a lot of good talks, and he walks the walk type of guy. So, he's done amazing things. But I've said this 100 times. He is solely focused on growth and not personal evolution. And those are two completely different things about humans. when you grow up, like when you're like focused on growth, you do better. You make more money. You become stronger. But you're also singular in your approach to your evolution, which means you could be, and we've seen this, we've seen super wealthy, super smart businessmen who are dead fuck retarded about everything else around them other than what they know how to do. And you could have heightened awareness, which he has, like very high awareness level, with very low self-awareness level. And this is the part that a lot of people don't understand about evolution, is awareness has to evolve into self-awareness before going into consciousness. And sometimes people don't understand this because they confuse the fact of awareness and self-awareness as one, and they look at money as a driving decider to like, if that person is indeed self-aware, and they're like, that guy's super rich, he says smart shit, that means he's like super like on top. You can have heightened awareness about everything going around you and very low self-awareness about your identity and your existence in the space. Meaning, doesn't mean you can't be rich, doesn't mean you didn't figure out a way to do that. We know this because we see this in athletes too. Very, very low awareness and self-awareness. Heightened amount of money from a contract. Heightened awareness, still no self-awareness.
Yeah.
So we see this. We rarely see it in actual like people who are highly intelligent, highly capable, highly driven, and with great results. But this is the whole premise of this interview. What Tony's basically telling him, which he's not really getting because he's lived his whole life a certain way forever, is that everything you want is outside of everything you think you know.
Yeah.
And this is what people aren't paying attention to. This is the most important lesson, is you become a certain way because of your ability to be curious and step out of your zone of awareness to gain identity. But once you gain a certain set of identity in your job, you forget that your identity in the world exceeds greater than your identity in your job. And so this is what we call in the second circle, the dual identity from societal to cosmic. And a lot of people don't understand that difference because they think that everything revolves around who they are in their job and their money. This is a perfect example of that. Everyone should watch this interview. And a lot of a big, I think, I applaud Homozi for being able to be vulnerable in the middle of an interview, knowing he would get millions of views for it. And to be able to do this in person, that's, I think, his greater strength, and that's the one he uses the least. And we're starting with the ugliest car.
Damn, bro.
Actually,
give him a minute.
Okay, well, no, hold on. Let me say something. So they just, I saw this on Instagram. That's why I wanted to get it up. I saw this on Instagram. Someone tagged me in this. The interior is fucking Tiffany blue.
They jocking you, dude.
Dude, the interior is Tiffany blue.
Straight jocking you, bro.
Yo, why the fuck would you make a car sand color and the interior Tiffany fucking blue?
Because money doesn't buy taste.
Yes, it doesn't. Exactly.
Under any circumstance.
And here's the thing. I hate eggs. And this thing is fucking beautiful. Not the Mansory one, the regular fucking
a regular
Jesko. It's just really pretty. Like the design team
they nailed it.
Has always nailed it. Regera, I don't give a fuck what they're called.
Pretty cars.
Beautiful pieces of shit is what we call them.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the same as like a really hot whore, super hot playmate that can't fuck. Well, actually, you can't say that. I'll actually say, I don't think you can say that. And that was a really gay sound. But let me tell you why it can't be that. Because a hot playmate that doesn't fuck would mean that it doesn't perform. And these things perform, they just don't always work.
When they work.
So it would be a hot playmate who is always on her period.
Oh, no.
And can't perform even though she should perform.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's what eggs are.
You should make a book of analogies.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what eggs are. If they involve whores, then I can tell you what things are. But anyways,
book of
so this is ugly as shit. Let's go back to that for a second. Show the front of this fucking ugly thing. I don't even know why we need so much more carbon fiber than I already had. Like, it was great the way it was. Now it looks like Hercules' fucking cousin on crack. But look at this fucking mid thing. It's got a fucking wing in the middle of the door. Like, it's just fucking unnecessary. Like, it's really fucking ugly.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And they did this shit with the Ford GT too. They were like, we just redesigned the Ford GT. And it was like unnecessary. It was fine. Maybe a front lip or some side skirts.
No one asked for that.
We would have been good with just that and maybe a roof scoop if you're like a top, like
a roof scoop.
Yeah, I know. They put the roof scoops on everything even though they don't work. It doesn't matter. But the point is, this is fucking atrocious and it's just unnecessary. So I went on the post when they unveiled this with Supercar Blondie.
Of course you did.
Of course I had to comment that it's vomit fucking ugly.
Of course you did.
I mean, the color combo is just... The exterior is beautiful. The interior is beautiful. They just don't fit together,
It's a good art piece.
Well, no, it's two pieces of art. They should take a photo of the inside and a photo of the outside. You just shouldn't see one with the other, so it doesn't make sense.
Can we see the inside? No. You don't got to see
No, yeah, you don't need to.
You're good.
Exactly. It should be like, it's so dark that you can't see inside. Exactly.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Anyway, so this is fucking stupid. This car that doesn't... my favorite fucking car in the world. The biggest piece of shit that's a production car.
So, sounds like it might be turbo now.
As if it's going to matter. It still will have plastic bits all over it. It had for no reason. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, do you think they're stealing the essence of the car?
Well, I've never understood the point of having a GT2 RS and a GT3 RS if they're both turbocharged.
Well, the 3 wasn't turbo before, remember?
I know, what I'm saying is I never understood the evolution of that. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason is because they did this before with the Carrera. Mm-hmm. Remember, now the Carrera has like turbos in it.
Yeah,
they're all turbo now, yeah. Right. But what's the point of a 911 turbo if you have a Carrera turbo and everything else has turbo automatically? Mm-hmm. So I don't... I'm just not I don't understand that. Are you buying just a wide body and the fact that it's just stupid. It's the same with my Range Rover. I bought a SV615. There's a SV530. Mm-hmm. You just put a tune on it. It's now an SV615. There's nothing different about it. I'm like, okay, well, was the tune fucking 27 grand difference? No,
$1,000.
Exactly. I'm like, so will everyone, if there's nothing on the outside that even says 615, I got a bigger dick, then does it even matter?
No.
Then you just buy a 530, you put a tune on it, and you shut the fuck up and you drive your car. And now you have the same speed for this fucking $1,000 and you're 30K better in the hole than you were at a 615, with this and that. Same wheels, same kit, same everything. So this doesn't make sense to me because usually the changes between the GT3 and the GT2 are minor anyways, slightly redesigned bumper,
and turbo,
some additional carbon on top and on the bottom. So I don't really get it unless the GT2 is dramatically different this time, which I doubt because the spy shots were not dramatically different.
Give it up 1,300 horsepower?
I'm not even talking about horsepower. I'm saying at least in design, since they all have turbos now. Mm-hmm. So, but even if this has lower turbos than the GT2, well, you can tune turbos. That's the thing. Turbos aren't they're so easy to bring an extra 200-300 horsepower out of. So it's not this is very closed, whatever. It's
and the power is not going to be different. We know it's not going to be so different.
It's the same wing. It's the same thing.
150 horsepower and that's it,
Yeah, I don't get it. They do this shit all the time. They did this with the ST. That car I had. I love the ST. I thought it was a great car. 9,000 RPM, super nice, short shifter. I'm like, magnesium wheels. This is great. And then I look, 992.2 Touring, lightweight pack. Carbon roof, short shifter, mag wheels. I'm like,
thanks.
Okay, so better seats, better car, half the price. Okay, makes sense. Now I can't wait to go buy another fucking 911 ST and spend $600K on a car.
Remember a couple years ago, what the car did they do that with that they pissed everybody the fuck off?
Wasn't it a 911R or something?
Remember that shit?
They were no more manuals, and then they immediately came up with a manual. Yeah, it's
everyone was
stupid. Yeah,
just sitting under dick with a 300.
Yeah, and the cars went from 600 to 300, and then they went back. Fuck no, I think they look like shit. I never liked the 991. This thing looks really awkward too. I'm also not a fan. I've started noticing Singer's lines getting really super crazy. I know people are going to hate me for saying this. I think, when this car came out, I was such a fan. I saw it at that Godwood thing. Goodwood, yeah. You see it? I don't even know what the fuck these places are called. But I saw it there. I thought, wow, wide, crazy, big wing. And then the more I look at it, the more I'm like, bro, at this point, we're going so far away from a 911. The shape and size of these things is massive compared to a fucking 993, 964, 930, whatever the fuck.
They're so huge.
No, it's humongous. It's super wide, super hot looking, but you just get to a point where you go, this isn't what it's supposed to be anymore. So can we just not call it 911 and just say it has 911 headlights?
911 inspired.
Yeah, whatever. But so that's that. And then I think Gunter believe it or not, I think is doing a better job now in their new turbo line. They're crazy, like smaller cars, like their newer line compared to before, their slant nose, etc., to retain the essence of the 911 without like completely reshaping like what the car is, the size, the idea of it. This is too much. I think their Singer DLS was a great
car.
Great looking car, great all around car. I was very, very much a fan of that.
Do you think this is just their, because I mean, for the most part, they all have like an extreme variant. So this would just be like their extreme variant of whatever it may be.
I don't think it's a variant. I think they make such small amount of these things that they need to keep raising the wow factor, because in essence, like, I know it's going to sound weird, but I think Singer is just recycling customers. Like in there, like you basically get like a pool of people that have like, let's say you have like every car, right? And you're like, oh, I bought a Singer, I like how it drives, whatever. Then you love it so much that you always upgrade, so you buy the next one, whatever, and whatever. So I think they just keep going up because people's comfort zone, once they're in the product, they're like, oh, we have a $2 million car now, so 2.5, what's the difference? I'll trade in and go with that. I think they're just basically bringing people along. I don't know that, like, as an entry person, I look at this and I go like, fuck, I'm going to add this to my garage as a Singer. I just don't see it. Like,
I get you.
You know what I mean? Like, you work your way up, like you work your way up through the cars, until you get to that super like 3.5 million cars. But at auctions, Singers have not been doing so well. Last two auctions, they were down almost like, I want to say like 15, 20% from where they were like 6 months ago. So it shows you that, like, as more people are willing to buy analog cars, they no longer look to modernized analogs. They actually look at the real analogs. That's why we've had a rise in LP640 manuals, Diablos, like 355s, 360s, 430s with a stick. I think people are opting for those things as much as they're opting for these things now. And the price points are getting there too.
And I mean, just to finish off the car stuff, we got your boy.
Oh, my boy.
Your boy, who
he's
always
definitely not.
He just always leads with like.
I'm pretty sure that if me and Doug DeMuro were in the same room, we would not be friends.
What?
Yes, I don't.
You don't think so?
No. You know why? Because he would call me an arrogant fuck, and I would say he's a hillbilly. So we would just not get along.
Okay.
Like, not in a bad way. Like, I have respect for what he does. I'm not saying he's bad at his job.
No, he's not.
I just think there's some people that just can't be in a room with me and survive mentally. Like, it's just very difficult for them.
You think it's some? I know. I think a lot of people.
I think a lot of people can't survive in a room with me. But I argue that I always say what's on my mind, and that's very dangerous for some people because they're very afraid of facing what's in their mind.
Yeah, you could say something.
But I think most things I say, people agree with. They just don't. Like, they're not willing to agree with it publicly. Like, they're just like afraid of how people will perceive them. So if I'm like, oh, only the poor people have this opinion about this car, they're like, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. But dare you calling them poor?
No.
Call them less fortunate, or you're an arrogant fuck. And I'm like, you're poor, you're poor. It doesn't matter. I was once poor. I wasn't fucking running around being like, I am slightly less fortunate than you, son. I'm poor. Which meant that I had no fucking money. In context of some of my other friends, I'm still poor. It's subjective, but I wasn't confused about the fact that if you're not making at least like 100 to 200K a month, you're basically existing in society in a way that just does not give you access to experiences that being rich does. And it's always better to be rich than poor, because a point will come in your life where your kids need medical attention, your wife doesn't want to work, something happens. And your inability to provide will become so obvious to you that it will completely destroy you. Yes. And then you'll wish you would have worked 10 fucking years of your life like a slave to make sure that you don't have to go through that experience you're having, because that one experience will fucking break you. And people don't realize that. So when you're poor, you're fucking poor. It doesn't matter. Take that shit, use it as motivation, as fire, whatever the fuck that means. It's a game of numbers. You don't have to guess where you are on the scale. If you have $10, you have 10. Someone has 11, they have more money than you. You have 100, they have 10 million, they have more money than you. So money isn't like subjective to your feelings or opinion of it or your state or where you live or your function, because when you're poor, usually you find places that you can afford. When you're rich, you find places you like and you're not worried about what there is to afford. So yes, if someone lives and spends $20 million in an apartment in New York or has a $15 million house on the water in Florida, it's because they want to fucking be there. Correct. They're not there because real estate prices are affordable. The word affordable does not fucking matter. It's called supply and demand. If there isn't enough of shit, price is stable. That's just how it works. But anyway, so his car collection, he has some cool shit. I think I have almost every car except the Countach.
You had to shit on him.
No, why am I cheating? I'm not cheating on him. He has, I have like almost 30, I think 36, 37 cars. He has like 4 cars. So like, I don't know what the, like.
And he started, he's like, I have a Toyota Tundra.
Well, he said something in a recent video, which I thought was good. He said he doesn't finance his cars, neither do I. Like on my cars are cash, but it's the same thing. He said, if I had, the ability to finance, or I would be willing to, not that he doesn't, if he would willing to, he said he'd probably buy an F40. I would argue this is exactly my point about not understanding money. I've made this argument 50 times on this exact channel about this behavior. Is that, yes, I understand the generic feeling that if you can't afford things cash and you take advice from the 1980s, it would be very accurate to say and prudent to say that you shouldn't buy enjoyable things.
Correct.
You should buy needs with credit. But there's also a reality that credit can be leveraged to actually grow yourself, especially since the entire country is using it. What does that mean? Let's give a very brief example. If you bought an F40 3 years ago on credit at $600K, or let's just even say 1.5 million, like right after COVID, and went up, and you just had bought that car, you would have made payments on that money for 20 grand a month, and it would have been painful, whatever. Yeah. Most of that money would have been between interest, some of it in the actual equity in the car, right? By now, the car would have been valued 3 to 4 times your money.
Yeah.
So the equitable part of the car that you never really paid down much in a couple of years would have still gained 300% of its value.
Fuck.
But now, if you go and buy it cash, right, you're paying 3 times more for it because you missed the timing to get in.
People that don't get into crypto and shit.
Yeah, so you're better off buying, even if you're buying, as long as you're buying the right thing. I always say in credit, there's one simple rule. You finance the equity, you pay off the risk. So this is how, if you want to ever use your credit, this is basically how you look at it. If I buy a car for $2.5 million, that car's liquidity, if I go to 3 dealers, I go, what do you pay for that car today? They go, $2 million. You're overpaying because it's blue, whatever. They don't want to pay for it. I don't fucking care. $500K of that money is risk, meaning that tomorrow, if I liquidate this asset tomorrow morning, I get a $2 million check no matter what. I'm paying $2.5 million. Put $500 down, pay off that $500, which is your risk, and leave the actual equity of the car itself financed, because there's no actual benefit to paying that off unless the finance rate is significantly higher. But if that car goes up in value, then you're going to, assuming you're buying correctly and following some of the advice we provide, then you're going to be having more equity in that car later. So you'll still owe like 1.9 million on that car down the road.
3.
It'll be worth 3, exactly. So you'll not only get your down payment back, but now your position is much better because you had the opportunity to basically make the $500K, and it cost you a couple of months or a year of interest or whatever that was. But it's a higher risk to not utilize credit and wait until you have enough money to then buy it cash if there is an appreciating asset, which is why I always said the difference between wealth and rich is forecasting the length of time so that you can get into asset classes that you can forecast are going up instead of buying the ones that are going down. So if you want to not have to make more money to basically support your lifestyle, buy things that don't lose value. So buy a house that you really want, but maybe buy the one that's better positioned to go from 5 million to 8 million, rather than the one your wife really wanted that was 5 million that could be worth 5 million in 3 years, where you missed out on 3 million in upside, etc. And the only people that will argue this are poor people. They'll be like, rich people don't care what Bugattis cost. They just pay for them. That's why you're poor. Let's face it.
That's why you broke.
That's why you're broke. Yeah. If you look at any single human that ever commented on a Bugatti post on Instagram or in YouTube, none of them have Bugattis. Period. Yeah. None of them ever had. None of them will understand anything about it. And none of them ever will. Because their mentality is like, again, let me go learn from a guy who's posting shit from the 1980s about his 401k and his Roth IRA and his bullshit. And then let me go back and now sell that shit to everyone else, even though I'm not there, and somehow make sense of it. But anyways, I think this is about the only time we had. We have to get to the challenge bracket. So tell me.
Let me get rid of this guy real quick.
We had 2 people submit something, apparently.
Yes, we did. We had Jared and Josh.
So he delivered us a giant Amazonian fox that was quite dark. It didn't work out. So
that was...
I know, it's terrible. Yeah, no. Was I not supposed to say that?
No.
We're not supposed to call... No. Okay, she's also nodding no. Amazonians are not like a real thing? No?
Yeah, we went over this last time.
Is a woman that's like 5'10"? Why? We're not
This is last time, PJ.
Okay.
All right. So today on the bracket challenge.
So we're not talking about Amazonians, sorry.
No, today on the bracket challenge.
Okay, now I feel like our friends aren't going to come anymore on that. Okay, no.
Our submissions are
pretty
on
pissed.
The left. We have Jared.
From the Upside Down.
From the Upside Down. I see what you're going with here. Jared. And we have Josh Tilburg. That's a sweet last name. So we have Josh Tilburg and Jared Humiak. I'm sorry if I fucked your name.
They both fucking suck.
So, La Pilota, you first. All right, La Pilota picks Josh Tilburg, even though that logo probably not Bugatti.
Well, yeah, I don't like it. I think it's weird.
What do you got, PJ?
I'm going to go with the Stranger
On the Upside Down?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Upside Down too.
Okay, well, Upside Down won. I know,
so today...
we kind of used it against you because of the Amazonian thing.
Jared Humiak. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, dude. But you win today in the bracket challenge. Next week, we have a final set. We're going to start throwing them against each other.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. And anything else you want to get out of here before we
No, I think I've fucked people enough. All right. It's been a pleasure, guys. We'll catch you next week on the next episode again, assuming we're not canceled.